Geeks Gone Raw.
This is Scarcasm. I'm Scarfinger, and Chase is in the building, and we out here, dog.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. And it's been a few weeks. Actually, there's a podcast that I recorded with my daughter. It was around Father's Day.
Yeah.
I gave it to Chase to listen to. I'm talking to the people. I ain't talking to you right now. I gave it to Chase to listen to, and I said, "Hey, check and see if this is actually good enough to put up on the show. I just want you to hear it. I want someone else to hear it." And Chase never actually did that. So there is a show. I don't think it's that great because my daughter, for the most part, acted like she didn't really want to talk. We recorded it the day you got sick, when we were supposed to do this last time, for real last time. And you got sick, and I was like, well, I was already in podcast mode, so let me go ahead and work this out and try to get my podcast juices flowing. You know what I mean? Got to get this podcast juicy. You know what I mean? And so, no, that was the wrong thing to say because I'm getting ready to mention my child.
Right.
So that was the wrong thing to say. So I asked my daughter to record a show with me, and she absolutely did not want to do it. And that probably comes across in the broadcast. So yeah. So that's the reason why I didn't just edit the show and put it out. I wanted someone else to hear it to see if there was something that's worth putting out. So, but then, Chase never listened to it, so here we are.
Yeah, I'd like to say I was busy, but I just kind of every time you would mention it, I'd pretty much immediately forget about it after.
Yeah.
We stopped talking.
That's pretty much me. Look, here's the thing. I do this all the time, and I got this thing, right, where someone would be like, "Hey, did you do that thing?" And I'm just like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. Can you remind me?" Because I'm not going to remember. And this just happened recently because I've been trying to sell this fish tank, right?
Uh-huh.
It's in my ex's storage unit, and I've been trying to sell this fish tank, and I was supposed to put this shit up on Facebook Marketplace a long time ago. And every time she says something to me, I'm like, "Oh yeah, can you remind me? Because I'm not in a position to do it right now. So let me know." So and then I just kept forgetting. Every time she reminded me, I was just like, "Oh yeah, I'm not really in a position to do it right now." That's pretty much the story. And then today, I had a little bit of time, so I went ahead and I put it up on Facebook Marketplace. Let me tell you about Facebook Marketplace. So it is a 30-gallon fish tank with a stand. And it has the light in the hood and a filter and all of that stuff. It's been in my storage unit for a very, very long time. So, but, I spent a lot of money on this thing. Bought it from Walmart. Bought it from the Walmart. But this is years and years and years ago I bought it from the Walmart. So I finally got it up to. Finally got the post put up on the Facebook Marketplace, and I had one person. Well, first of all, I called it a fish tank instead of an aquarium. And about a half an hour after I posted it, I get a message from Facebook. It says that your post violates our terms. for selling animals. And I was like, I'm not selling an animal. I'm selling a motherfucking fish tank. Like, you know what I mean? Because to me, it's a fish tank. But, so I went ahead and I appealed it. And then my coworker...
You used the word fish in the title?
Yes, I use fish tank. I call it a fish tank. It's a fucking fish tank. Apparently, you know, that was too far. So I ended up having to, like, I did the appeal or whatever. I was like, I'm selling a fish tank. I ain't selling no fish. And then I just deleted the whole thing. I was like, all right, delete the whole thing. I copied and pasted what I texted, and then I started it over and I called it an aquarium. And this is going a little bit better. Now, a couple of people have taken a look at it.
So it's now aquarium bougie. He's just like, it's a fish tank. No, it's an aquarium.
Exactly. Like you say aquarium when you put your pinky up. Like, no, fuck that shit. Like, it's a fucking fish tank. It's a fish tank. So I changed it, and then I had one person send me a message saying that she was interested, and I was like, all right, cool. And then she asked me where it was, and I told her where it was because it's in a storage unit. And then I ain't heard shit back. And while I was talking to her, someone else sent me a message. Or half the fucking price of what I was offering. I said, I'm trying to get rid of this thing, right? So I lowered the price. Now, how much did I pay for it years ago? Originally I paid, it was $175 with the two pieces, the actual aquarium and the stand. The stand cost more than the actual aquarium did because it had to be a pretty substantial stand to hold a 30-gallon aquarium, you know? Like, okay, I get it. And then, like, later on, I did replace the top part, the hood, with the light and everything. That cost me, I can't remember how much that cost me, but that's a cost on top of the $170 that I already spent on the thing, right? I'm trying to sell the thing for $50 fucking dollars. Guess what? Somebody showed up and told me something 25. I'm like, bitch, no. I really wanted to say that, but I was like, no. I already have somebody interested and they're paying full price, so no, thank you. But I really want to say, bitch, no. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Ron Block's in the house.
Ron Block, what up, dog? I just really want to say, bitch, no. Like right there right there in the Facebook, like, bitch, what's wrong with you? Why would you start off offering me half of what I'm offering, and it's way less than what the fuck I paid for it? Like, way less than what I paid for this shit. You know what I mean? It's less than a third of the cost. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
I mean, that's the prices that you would put it up there if it's been sitting up there for a year and you're like, fuck, I need to get rid of this shit.
Yeah, I mean, this thing has been in a storage unit for like over 5 years. Like,
but it hasn't been on the marketplace for over 5 years.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that shit kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm like, I don't know if I like Facebook Marketplace. I don't think I'm a fan.
Well, I mean, you know, the people of Facebook thinking of selling things to the people of Facebook, so it's
It's just I guess the I didn't know. Yeah, I know. I saw you. Well, I have not had a fish tank. I have not actually used a fish tank in quite some time. I had that tank, and I had two smaller 10-gallon tanks. And then, you know, I've spoken previously about my gangster Walmart fish that ate my my $8 Rhino Placo. I've spoken about that on the show previously, but for those who've not been around for a very long time, let me tell you what had happened. This is what had happened. So at this time, I had several aquariums. I had the big 30, and then I had two 10s. In one of the 10s, I just had some regular old fucking goldfish, and I got them from Walmart. You know, it's cool. Tank started to get a little bit on the grimy side, so I said, you know what? I'm gonna get a Placo So like, the Playco suck on the glass, you know what I mean? Like that, they supposedly clean all that shit up. So I did what I had to do. I cleaned the front and the sides, and then, I left the back for the Playco. Like, hey, and then whatever happens after that happens, and you got it, dog. You know what I mean? I put some other like regular like the I can't remember what they're called, but just the cheap ones that suck on the glass, and if they were cool, but they weren't really doing. Okay, somebody else just sent me a message. So they didn't work very well. So I went to go buy me a Playco because I had another Playco in the 30 gallon. Mm-hmm. So I saw this one and it was a little bit cool. It was like a Rhino Playco. It was like a regular Playco, but it had a little horn on it. And I'm like, oh shit. This shit is fucking dope. And it had a little bit of a reddish color to it, where the regular Playco that I had was kind of black. So I'm like, hell yeah. I'm gonna buy this Playco. And then that chick told me that shit was $7 and some change. That shit was like $8. I was like, do I really want to spend $8 on the fish when I'm used to buying gangster Walmart fish? You know what I mean? Buying like 25-cent fucking goldfish from Walmart. And so I'm like, all right, you know what? I got the money today. I'm buying me a fucking Rhino Playco. So I put the Playco in the tank and everything is good. And after a few days, I kind of look in the tank and I go, where the fuck is my Playco? Now it's in a 10-gallon tank, so ain't very many places it could really go. And there's this little bit of stuff in there. I got a bit like one of those rock things with like a hole in it. It's kind of look like a weirdly shaped donut. And like there's some things in the aquarium, and everything seems to be going well, except for I don't know where my Playco is right now. So I let it go because I was like, maybe he hiding somewhere, maybe I don't know. So I let it go for like a day or so. And I went back and I went to go look for my Playco. Now, let me tell you, my Playco was there. It was behind the misshapen donut. But it was nothing but a head and a spine. My gangster Walmart fish ate my $8 Rhino Playco. And I said, I will never, ever.
Were they betas?
No, they were just regular old goldfish from Walmart. They were, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know whether it was just a Walmart. Like, I bought it from the hood place. So, like, these are hood goldfish. But, like, I don't know whether I ain't feed them enough. I don't know what the fuck. But, like, there was nothing. When I tell you, there was nothing but a head and a spine. That motherfucker ain't last a week.
Well,
yeah, that's just crazy. So,
I was also sitting here thinking about this fishing aquarium thing. I think pretty much if you can like pick it up and like it can like sit not in a wall. I mean, if you have a motherfucking tank in a wall and it's like giant, like the motherfucker at like Ace Ventura shit. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll get on you about an aquarium. Aquarium is some place you go to see. You go to the aquarium.
But when you got something at home, that's a fish tank,
right?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a little bit. And somebody else just sent me a message about it.
We get live updates on the fish tank.
Yeah, live updates on the fish tank, man. I mean, I can call it a fish tank here, but so we have not been on for a little while, man. How's your last few weeks and so been?
It's been fairly normal. You know, that Saturday that we did the Halo night, that was it was a fun night, but I was in a chat before you guys got on, and Devious Mr. Matt had popped in before he had his prior engagements to go to, and just to check in, and then I only talked to him for like 2 seconds before it was just like blah, all over the. I was like, I gotta be right back, and I muted and trying to clean up all Aiden's stuff, and then because Aiden was supposed to play with us and stuff, and then we had our game night, and then Sunday was pretty chill. I mean, but Riley slept we went up to the store or something, and he slept all the way back, and then I was watching Fresh Prince or something, and he just fell asleep on the couch. So I think he wasn't feeling good that day, but he wasn't really sick. So because that's not normal for him. But most everybody was just I was just kind of there by myself basically. So I just kind of watched some shit and all that. But then Monday I went to work and all of a sudden I wasn't feeling so good. And then that night it was on, man. Fucking it ended up being norovirus. But yeah, that cleared up. And then the next week, it was our off week. And so that was Monday, so I didn't podcast. And then the next week, you had something going on, I think. And then
yes, because I got my weeks mixed up, so I had not planned on podcasting because I had my weeks mixed up. So I was actually in the Walmart when you were like, "Are we podcasting?" I'm like, no, because I was in the Walmart grocery shopping.
Yeah, because me and Amber had started Borderlands 3 because it's crossplay now, which that's kind of null and void. I'll get to that in a second. But so we were playing that, and I was like, well, we'll just go ahead and still play this, because and all that. So we did that, and then the next week you're like, when you want to record again? I was like, well, let's kind of keep it on schedule. On how it would normally go, and then so by the time of keeping things on schedule and missing 2, I mean it's been like a month and a half. At least it feels like it. It wouldn't
be that long if you would have actually listened to the other podcast that I did with my daughter.
Yeah, I know. Well, it wouldn't be that long since there was content on the feed, but it would be that long since we had a proper podcast. But
yes, because I realized that we have never on podcast we have never discussed Black.
Wow, we haven't, because I thought so we haven't did that. We were going to do it that night that I got sick, right?
Yes.
Huh. Wow.
So we need to discuss Black at some point. So we need to, and somebody else just sent me a message about this damn fish tank. All of a sudden, this shit is popping right now.
I'm gonna message
Scott.
Yeah, Scott, to see if he might want to jump in and at least just talk about Black for a little bit.
Okay. So we can get to that. But there's some things that we need to discuss. Now, separate from everything else. Separate from anything else, I found there was a new game that was announced today. That it was by Ubisoft.
Oh, yeah. That thing, the Tom Clancy thing.
Yes, it is basically. Not necessarily Fortnite, but it's basically their version of
Overwatch.
Call of Duty. Oh, yeah, Call of Overwatch.
Yeah, like someone commented on that were like, I mean, it looks cool. I mean, I'm rag on it, but because it just got announced. But someone commented that Tom Clancy, and this is probably true, is rolling over in his grave. About Tom Clancy's X Defiance or something. This is the furthest away from espionage shit that you can get.
Right. So it's basically, that's basically what it is. It's a first-person shooter, class-based, and it's also team-based. Whatever the teams that you have are based off of teams from the other from the Tom Clancy games. So there's a team from Ghost Recon. There's a team from there's two teams from the Division, and then I can't remember what the other.
So is
team.
this kind of like Tom Clancy All Stars, basically, or like
I think they have a mobile game that's.
Tom Clancy Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I think they have a mobile game that's basically like Super Smash Brothers Tom Clancy, but it's a mobile game and it's like almost like a card game or something like that. That they had a while ago, but my phone wouldn't run it, so I never got a chance to actually play it. So this will be probably the first one of these type of games that I may actually be able to run. So that's cool. So I looked at it and they didn't share very much about it, but this might be a game that I would try. But here's the thing. I am not very competitive. I play games for fun. So if you play this game with me and you are super competitive, I am probably going to piss you off. Because I am going to run out in the middle of everyone and try to get as much as I can while still dying. But I'm just going to try to get what I can because that's the way that I play. I'm an in-your-face player. I'm not a sniper. I'm not like, you know what I mean? Give me a good SMG and like let's roll. Like that's how I feel about it.
And that's a game I think that me and you probably could have got into is fucking Titanfall 2. Like everybody that I hear, like I mean, I played the single player and I played some of the multiplayer, but like talk about how it's like still supported and like there's like actual AI in there and it's it's not like as hardcore, but you can play it hardcore. Like when that was popping, I wish we actually had more people to play that. That was pretty good.
I played the first game. I watched someone play through the whole second game, the story. Mm-hmm. Because that's the only thing I was really interested in is they added a story mode for the second game. I played a little bit of the first game, but since I was so behind the curve on that one, I waited till it was available on EA Access. So like I was way behind the curve on that one, so everyone was so much better than me. I just kept dying a lot. And then I ain't really because I died so much and I wasn't getting a whole bunch of kills, like, you know what I mean? Like the Titan would show up and I'd be like, oh shit, I got a Titan. Oh, I'm dead. That's basically how that worked. So I never actually got into Titanfall, when everyone else was playing. I did play a little bit.
I love the campaign. I thought it was great.
The campaign was really dope, especially the mission where you're going back and forth to different timelines. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's something that's spoilable, right? Like, is anybody really that concerned about the story of Titanfall 2?
I just think BT is awesome.
Yeah, here's the thing about BT.
Mm-hmm.
I like BT a whole lot more when I thought it was Optimus Prime's voice.
It's not?
No. I thought because the initial like E3 trailer, I could have sworn that was Optimus Prime. Oh yeah, Titanfall 2 came out in 2016. Yeah, y'all. If you feel like me spoiling a small part about fucking Titanfall 2's campaign, you had since 2016 to play that shit. So blue. That's you heard what I had said, but so yeah, it was just yeah. I want someone play it though. But here's the thing: I want someone play it, and I really started to get into his plays, his Let's Plays, because he played all of the Halo games for the first time and all of this kind of stuff, and like. I really liked him. He works, I think he said he is a game developer. He is a level designer for, I think he said he can't talk about a lot of the games that he's worked on, but he could say that he had done some work on the DLC for Borderlands 3. But then like but this is like during the pandemic when everything was like, everybody was at home. He was just like, hey, I'm going to start this channel. And like the channel started to pick up and he was just like, I don't think I can balance this. Like between like still having to work, but like working from home, managing a YouTube page by yourself and managing your life stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I think it got a little bit too much for him. So, rest in peace, the Venom Lion channel, or as he would say, because he's French Canadian. He said Venom Lion. Rest in peace, Venom Lion's channel, because I really enjoyed his content, and that's who I watched play Titanfall 2. I think that game will be pretty cool to try. Now, if they have like a horde mode type deal,
well, that's the thing. Like the regular multiplayer, it has like AI controlled grunts and stuff. So it's like a mix to where like if you focus on those motherfuckers, you might get killed by a player. But if you like kill all the grunts, as you can see, you could be on top of the leaderboard and not even kill a regular player.
Right. But and so it's so that could be fun. And like I said, with this Tom Clancy game, it looks like it could be interesting, but y'all know I don't dig versus modes. So like if I'm gonna play this game, I'm gonna play for the fun of it. So like if y'all want to get a crew together, if y'all just want to have some fun, holla at your boy.
I would say I don't like competitive modes. Like, I can deal with some versus as long as it's not like really competitive. Like, like if we had a big group, like a group of 8 players for a game night, and we were like, let's do some Left 4 Dead versus. Left 4 Dead versus ain't competitive. It's just like fun insanity. You know what I mean? But like, it's not like you're like, oh man, I got my KDR in the fucking, look at my stats on Left 4 Dead Hunter. Get out of here. You know what I mean? So I could get down with that, or playing like an old school shooter like Unreal or something. Like, I could get down with that, but not like your Call of Duties or the Apex Legend type shit. It's just too anxiety. Excuse me, too much anxiety.
Yeah, I don't really want to play like be one of those people that just play Warzone all the time. And it's just like, I kind of like they were talking about like there's different missions, different game modes, and one of them is like an escort type situation and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, I think I could dig something like that.
Dude, sometimes if I get into where I'm playing some sort of game like that, like I feel like I'm wasting my time because I'm not playing other games that I need to finish, like an actual campaign of a game or a single, like, all the time that if I get into a new Call of Duty and then I'm spending all this time there and I'm like, you know what, this whole time I could have been done with Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Mass Effect 2 right now. I did get a decent chunk into Mass Effect 2, but I haven't been playing as much as I feel like I should. I should have been finished with this shit by now. I've done most of the loyalty missions. I've done a few side things, like, I've done Shadow Broker, like shit like that. But like for some reason, I'm just kind of like going through this very slowly, and I'll probably pick it up and play a few missions, maybe like once a week at this point.
Well, if that's unless you're like a one game type of dude, like, I would say if that's how it's rolling with you, we're like, I feel like playing some Mass Effect tonight, and you just play some Mass Effect that night, and then any other night. I've been alternating my games, which I think I talked about that on the previous show, and that's been working out a lot better for me to like actually stick with them, because especially like this, like I had to take some breaks on even though that I really liked Mass Effect 3 and playing through it again, but I think it was because since it was the last one, and by that time I was already like well over 100 hours into playing Mass Effect, I was like, man, I gotta play something else for just a little bit and then come back to it. But I got through it. I finished the whole thing. But 127 hours it took me to complete all of it.
I have been doing a lot of like full-time dad stuff. And like watching TV shows with my daughter and spending some time with her. But then again, I've been doing my same thing that I always do, where I watch a whole bunch of other people play games, that I can't really buy right now because, money's a little tight. So I've been watching people play a whole bunch of games that I can't afford right now, on YouTube. That's been like the most rewarding thing for me. I started watching people play Spellcaster University again, because the official 1.0 came out. Mm-hmm. So, and I played a little bit of that myself. Spellcaster University, for those who don't know, is you're basically building a magic school. Basically, imagine Hogwarts, but you're building it. It's kind of on a 2D plane. But it's card based. Yeah, I really enjoy that game, and the 1.0 came out, so I kind of popped in for a little bit, played some, and I really enjoy that game. It's not a game where it's like a lot of combat and stuff like that, and for the most part it's pretty chill, and even when there is combat, you don't actually do anything. You're just building your school. Somebody might attack, and your students and your teachers basically take care of whatever it is. And the better your students are, the less chance they're going to die. So, that happened. So it's one of those things. Are we going to talk? Since we're already on games, do we want to talk about games? Because I don't really have a whole lot.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Okay, so I can breeze through this pretty fast. I played Mass Effect. I played a smidge. What up, Blue?
Yeah, what's up, Blue?
I spoiled a bit of Titanfall 2, but the game came out in 2016, so you can eat it. So no, I'm joking. So I played that. I've been watching a lot of Farm Manager. I'm watching people play a lot of Farm Manager. I want to buy that game. I just can't right now. And I know it's not that expensive. It's just like, I could afford the expense of buying Farm Manager. And I can afford that expense, but like, what do I sacrifice from like the things that I actually need? So that's pretty much where I am right now with all of this. And that's the greatness of Game Pass.
Yeah.
And then I also played I played a smidge, not a whole lot. I played a little bit of 2 Point Hospital in this intervening time. But it's still a game that I love. I can't wait for 2 Point Campus. It's campus or university? I think it's campus. I can't wait for 2 Point Campus because I want to see because they had a very solid game, and I want to see what they do with it, that type of thing. And I think for the most part, the only thing I really, really like put some real time into was Mass Effect. And then of course, before everything kind of got messed up with us not being able to talk to each other, I put a decent chunk into Black, but I did not love it. Did you ever get a call back from Scott?
No.
Okay. So yeah, we can talk it. We can talk about it. Black is just, it's an Xbox game. It's just old. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of the mechanics and stuff like that, and of course the visuals. Not that I'm really all that about visuals or whatever like that.
I still think to this day it looks really good for a game that old.
It looks good for a game that old, but it doesn't look good to me. Like, it doesn't look good enough for me to, like, you know what? I'm going to ignore all of the other things about this archaic control system. And like, you know, you could remap buttons, but not to my personal liking. And the remapping buttons was cumbersome as fuck. Oh man, that shit was the worst. It was just an old game, and I think it was really cool at its time, but that time is long gone, dog. If they did like a remaster or some shit like that, I would and like updated the controls to the way that modern games play, I might be able to enjoy it a little bit. But
well, I would say that it's already had a spiritual successor, which would be Black Ops. You know, so
yeah.
that
yeah, it was done. It was done again, and it was done better. You know what I mean? The original Black Ops is a fantastic game.
Yeah, it really is.
So it's Call of Duty Black Ops for people who don't know what we're talking about. So yeah, it was cool. I don't know why y'all motherfuckers voted for it, but like, you did it. We played it. I never have to do that again. Blue said Black fell victim to overhype back in the day. Finished playing Mass Effect and Scarlet Nexus. Word up, dog. I know he in the game night chats. He had nothing but good things to say about Scarlet Nexus. So if you're into that type of stuff, look up Scarlet Nexus.
Yeah, and it's not turn-based.
It's a JRPG, really, right?
Yeah, but it's not turn-based. It's definitely
Right.
action-oriented, like full force, like hack and slash. It's good. I played some of it too.
So if you like those kind of games, Blue highly recommends Scarlet Nexus, and of course we already know that Blue highly recommends Mass Effect. So we don't need to really say that.
Even though we just did.
I mean, we all highly recommend Mass Effect, so it's not just like a Blue thing. It's all of us. Like we, you know,
Yeah.
most of the time in the game night chats, at least one of us is playing Mass Effect. So like we.
I finally finished it after it's today is July 19th, and it came out on that same day, right? Around the 19th of May. So I've been playing it for 2 months. So.
Yeah. And Blue, I think Blue wants to make sure that the rest of you know that he finished the game all the way through on Insane. I think maybe twice, but I know that he at least finished it all the way through on Insane. Possibly twice. But he's going to tell me in the chat in a second. So yeah, that's all I have for games. I am looking forward to the game that has a very weird name, I'm just going to call it the Tom Clancy shooter game. And of course I'm looking forward to 2 Point. There's a couple of like PC like city building games that I'm kind of interested in that no one cares about, so I won't mention them here. And yeah, that's it for me in games. What you got, dog?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of stuff coming out. I think a lot of stuff is like really going into that like, oh, we're done with Battle Royale. Left 4 Dead style games is where it's at, and there's a lot of that shit, and I'm like kind of all for it. So, you know, of course, Back 4 Blood, and then there's some other, just a lot of like 4-person co-op experiences, and they're mostly all on Game Pass, which is kind of there's, might as well.
Bruh, Game Pass is so much of a lifesaver for someone like me right now. Game Pass is it's like super important for someone like me. Like, I can't, when it comes to like buying a whole bunch of games and shit like that right now, I just can't do it. Like, I'm trying to get a handle on everything here as far as like having a place by myself, and like for the first time really having to pay for a place myself, and like everything, and being full-time dad and having to go grocery shopping for 2 people, and like, you know what I mean? Like 2 people who don't like the same things. Like all of this stuff, like, is like, and then like, you know, next month, preparing to send my daughter back to school, so that's more money. Like, bruh, this Game Pass is a lifesaver. I think I really want to do that whole thing where you pay them monthly for a console.
I was thinking about that, but it is a credit check thing, so you have to, you know.
I mean, my credit is bad, but it ain't that bad, is it? I don't know. I mean, if you really want to check my record, like you ain't never had no problems getting money from me from this fucking Game Pass. I've had Game Pass since it came out, and I've had Ultimate since Ultimate came out. So like, check my record for what I pay for y'all every month. I pay y'all $15 every month, and I don't even play PC games. You could probably see that too. I give y'all the money just because.
Well, that's just because of gold. I mean, gold comes with.
Yes, that's really why I do it, because of the gold. But yeah, I pay y'all $15 a month, and I don't even use PC stuff. And Blue said that the Insanity Run was only once.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, I did, like I said before, we did some Borderlands 3, and then because it was crossplay, which actually I had no problems with that. Like, we just jumped right on in, and it was really seamless. It was all with the Shift account or whatnot. So, and apparently,
I need to get with y'all on that, because I have the game, but I haven't played very much.
But hold your jet a second, because here's the thing: we were playing that, and Amber was like, "Man, I kind of missed the first one." I was like, "Well, you know, they did the enhanced version where it's like better graphics and, you know, top things like, oh, you're..."
And they fucked us over. They fucked us over on the consoles, because if you have the PC version, you get the enhanced version for fucking free, and like, we had to pay something extra for the enhanced version. Fucking jerks. Sorry.
But like, you run over money or ammo and you automatically pick it up, like quality of life stuff, and you get a mini map, which so much better. But anyway, we started playing that, and but we had that on PC because of what you just said. You know, had it for free because of the whatchamacallit, having Borderlands 1. But
I'm almost certain I have it. I just don't really want to play it on PC.
Right. So she was like, I kind of want to play that, and I was like, well, she's like, well, can you just move my computer in here? I was like, so I did that, and then Aiden was like, well, since you got your computer, can I play on the Xbox? So the Xbox is now in Aiden's room, and the computer is now her console, plugged up to the TV with a controller, and she basically uses Steam, like, big picture mode, as like a console. So, but the thing is, for some reason, I don't know what it is, Borderlands 1 has terrible lag. It's kind of dog shit, like the online right now.
And I just looked it up, and yes, I do have it in my Steam library. It's not installed. Well, actually, no, it is installed. Holy shit! I didn't realize it was still installed.
but yeah, so she really wasn't having much problems, but I was, like, and I think it's because she was hosting, and I was like piggybacking on her, and I would be like just being shot across the map and stuff, and I was like, I just can't do it. So we started just playing separately, and then whatnot. So she has this like a laptop little bed tray type thing that like wheels around, and she would just like put her keyboard and mouse on that and put that. So she's like, and they're playing The Sims and everything. So I would hold off on the Borderlands 3 because we don't have an Xbox in the living room anymore because of that situation. But yeah, I finished Mass Effect the Legendary Edition. So that was cool. And but yeah, I have some things to say about Mass Effect. There's always some sort of lax philosophy on Mass Effect in Scarcasm, right? But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm still on the mindset that I know BioWare hasn't said anything. I don't want no canon ending, man. Like,
Yeah, I don't. I think it's fucked up.
I get so fucking pissed off at these people that are like justifying the people that say like, oh, Synthesis is the worst ending because it's like the most evil because people don't get a choice. And I was like, these are probably the same motherfuckers that think freedom is like not, wearing a face mask. But, and then, or like saying, well, the best ending actually is destroy. And they're probably the same motherfuckers that are like, you know what? I know the Nazis are really bad, but you gotta give them some credit. Shut the fuck up. Those motherfuckers that like fuck destroy, like at least with control. Like I'm a Synthesis dude, and I'm not gonna like bow to those dudes because I've been bullied into like thinking that it's bad. No, after I played it again, I was like, dude, this ending is absolutely fucking gorgeous, and nobody can tell me otherwise. But
exactly,
Control, but with Control. Here's the thing. Destroy is the worst ending because if you play Leviathan, like, the worst thing about Destroy isn't the fact it's bad that you're killing the Geth, it's bad that you're killing Edie, but the worst thing is that you're fucking killing the Reapers. That's the worst thing, is because the Reapers are the one thing that's keeping the fucking Lovecraft fucking, like space lobsters at bay that like will destroy everything and like want to like control everything. So if you just absolutely don't want to do Synthesis, then the best thing is Control, and your first on your Shepherd as the Reaper's agenda is go kill the fucking Leviathans because we can't let the space lobsters win.
Right. I don't dig it, but I can understand why they want to have a canon ending, but if your canon ending is not the green, then we have nothing else to discuss. I understand why some people find the green ending to be problematic. But
even on that, like, oh, they don't get a choice. Like, the Catalyst said, like, it's the most ideal thing, but nobody was ever ready. And even in like 2021, nobody's ready. But he said, or it said, that they are ready now. So they kind of did get a choice because they were already ready for,
right,
being synthesized.
Nobody else made it this far, so like, yeah. So Blue say, I chose Synthesis my first time and hated the ending, not because it's the worst, but because it completely disregarded my decisions. I disagree, Chase. In your convo with the Construct, he says Shepard's arrival on the Crucible proves his plan was wrong.
Well, for the original, like, Reaper plan, like, to cleanse the galaxy of, cleanse the galaxy of like high technology wielding organics, that plan won't work anymore since Shepard made it to where he did.
I did not get the green ending the first time. I chose blue, and to this day, blue is my favorite of the endings. I think that, like Blue said, he chose Synthesis, but he hated it because it completely disregarded his decisions. But I think that if my Shepherd, I don't agree with that. But we already know why I don't agree with that. But my thing is, if my Shepherd, the way that I played my Shepherd, made the decision, my Shepherd would choose the blue. Period. They're in the discussion.
And I said this last time. I actually don't know if I said it last time because we've talked like in game nights and stuff. But I don't like the Elusive Man Anderson Saren thing because I think it's on the nose, but it's not everything, because like the blue ending is not. Yes, it's what the Elusive Man wanted to control, but the Elusive Man wanted to control to like make humanity dominant and all this shit. You're wanting to control so you can just like make the Reapers not do what they're doing. But like so it's not really I think the Admiralty board is a little bit more
you still really trying to sell us on this Admiralty board thing, and I'm like, okay, I understand what you're saying. I still don't fuck with it. Like, it's you're basically doing the indoctrination theory with the Admiralty board. Like, okay, I understand why you think that way. I'm still not fucking with this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
it's like, because everything is skewed with the other way of thinking about it, because like Elusive Man wanted to control to human dominance. Saren wanted to basically bow down to like Reaper slavery, and then Anderson's always been about. Anderson wanted to destroy the Reapers, but he didn't understand why the Reapers did what they did. And the Reapers weren't even the mind. The Reapers were a tool.
And the Admiralty board, the thing that you keep trying to sell me on, the Admiralty board did not give a fuck about the Reapers at all. Their whole thing was pertaining just to the Geth.
Yeah, but so it's a metaphor of like them with the Geth, but you apply that to...
No, because they didn't give a fuck about the Reapers at all.
That doesn't matter.
And what happened with Legion proves that control is the right thing to do. Because with control, you basically do the exact same thing that Legion did.
And Edie.
What did Edie do that's the same thing that Legion did?
No, Edie controlled Dr. Eva's body.
Yeah, but she controlled one body. I'm saying Legion sacrificed himself, and then a piece of him went into all of the Geth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see what you mean.
So you
hear this division?
Huh?
I said, you hear this division right now? Guess what that means?
What?
The Reapers are winning.
Okay.
Okay. Blue said he disagreed. What do you disagree on? What do you disagree? Hey, what do you disagree on? I'm just saying, for my Shepherd, the Blue said with Legion, you allowed the Geth to reach their own decision. With Control, you remove that ability to make that independent decision. Well, you don't actually remove that, because you basically control them, but with Control, you're sacrificing your essence in order to make the Reapers better. I can't say people, better creatures, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, you're not actually, like, it's not, okay, Blue, I'm about to do a church reference. It's not an order my steps situation. It's I put a piece of me into the Reapers to make them better individuals. I'm not actually controlling them and telling them what to do. You make them better people the same way that Legion did.
I mean, but aren't the Reapers already controlled by the Catalyst? It's just you're now becoming the Catalyst.
Yeah. He said, but it's literally called the control option. Yeah, you take some sort of control, but you take the control to make them better people. You're not actually ordering their steps.
But what if that fails in the future, though? Just like the catalyst, and the solution doesn't work.
It's not gonna fail. That's what that's what Shepherd is for. Shepherd is so it doesn't. Shepherd sacrificing and disintegrating into the entity that becomes whatever the Reapers actually become after that is the reason why that it works now.
I get it.
So, that's how I feel about it. If my shepherd goes with the blue. The green is cool, but the green is cool, and the green was cool up until, the Me Too movement, and now we have to think about things. We have to think about things like body autonomy and stuff like that, and making being allowed to make our own choices about our own bodies and things of that nature. And with the green ending, you completely take that away from everyone. You don't give anybody a choice if they were going to become part robot.
So what do you think, the opinions on, the newest Mass Effect that's going to be coming out about how the Leviathans might be the new enemy because they felt they were the apex race?
But that's why you kill the motherfuckers.
I think it's dumb. I think it's dumb, and because at this point the Leviathans are the Leviathans. They made this decision. They came up with they came up with the kid, the catalyst, or whatever like that. And then when shit started to switch up, they bitched out, and they bitched out and hid. So the Leviathan thing is stupid. You need something is something is going to be the big bad after the Reapers or whatever like that.
And plus they're going to need if they're going to come to Earth, they need a big ass fish tank.
Don't you think in the next game though we should get to pick which type of species we would want to be? Say if we wanted to play as an Asari or a Turian. You think that would be at all possible?
No.
I wish it would, though.
Because the original trilogy did the thing that I always said that I did not want them to do. And Blue can attest to this. Blue
went to Earth?
Yeah, I said this a long time ago. I thought focusing on Earth was the worst thing that they could possibly do.
Because I thought it would mostly be the focusing on the Asari because weren't they the most intelligent race or?
Yeah, but they cheated. So are we really? Were we really you know what I mean? Okay, you're the most intelligent. You advanced the first. They were the first people at the Citadel. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But they cheated. So are we really trying to say let's pick up from where the cheaters left off? No. No. And also technically if you go with Asari, then that means that they're probably going to do the dumb thing of making Liara as Bay canon, and there might be an offspring.
Oh,
that's an Asari.
Well, the thing is, I didn't read the article, but I just read the headline, and I actually agree with it. I don't like a canon ending, but they said having a canon romance is worse than having a canon ending, and I agree with that.
Yes, for me personally, in my Shepherd, Liara is Bay. You know what I mean? I might have poked around with Miranda in the middle game. Shit happened. But when it all came back around, it came back to Liara's Bay.
It's that ass, though. It's that ass.
It's that ass, though. So
you didn't get that ass,
but I know a lot of people. Blue said that he agrees with me that Earth and Cerberus were the worst focus points for Mass Effect 3. He liked poking around with Miranda. That was his jam. I did. You know what? The only reason why I did the Miranda thing, let's be honest, because at the time I liked watching Chuck. The chick plays in Chuck. You know what I mean? There was nothing else to it. It's she played in Chuck. I like her in Chuck, so let's do this. Now she plays in The Handmaid's Tale, and she's a complete biatch. So, you know what I mean? I don't feel the same about how I felt about her when she played in Chuck that I feel now that she plays in The Handmaid's Tale, and she's a complete biatch.
So how do you think that they're going to spin this new Mass Effect game, in your opinion?
I think that going back to the Milky Way galaxy is dumb unless they find a way to integrate Andromeda. I know people hate on Andromeda. I didn't hate the game. I finished it 2.5 times. And I think at this point, you have to continue Andromeda or a prequel to Shepard.
I would have said like the First Contact War, but the First Contact War lasted like a month.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the First Contact War.
It's like, y'all in our turf. No, this ain't our turf. And the Tsar's like, y'all calm down.
MR Ducks. But I think let's be honest, the First Contact War lasted longer than the Confederacy. But, so many things lasted longer than the Confederacy. This podcast is twice as long as the Confederacy.
Outcast lasted longer than the Confederacy.
Yes. I lost my train of thought because we started talking about stuff. I just don't see why returning to the Milky Way is a good idea. I just don't at this point. You left there for a reason.
Are there any other galaxies that are like close by?
Well, it only showed Andromeda Galaxy and the Milky Way.
I think they went to Andromeda because it was the closest.
Yeah.
I mean, even though it took them like 600 years or whatever. Was
it 6,000 actually, or was it 600?
No, it's 600.
Okay.
And Blue says, he said, I knew Strahovski from Chuck and Shepard always needed to GTDs. Please tell me y'all know what GTDs is.
GTDs?
Dr. Charles.
I didn't hear that. What?
And he said, rumor is their crossover with Andromeda. He finished it 3 times and it's solid. And then he said, yes, and they couldn't use the mass relays. If you're controlling the Reapers and this all Reaper tech, then you could build the mass relays back.
I mean, at the end of the game, it shows that they're putting it back together during the control ending.
But how long does it take them to get those things working again? And like because technically now everybody is stuck in our solar system. That's one of the dumb things about everything taking place on Earth. Now everybody who participated in that last battle and survived are all stuck in our solar system.
That's right.
They're all stuck there. Now,
that is right.
Here's the thing about that.
And also the Citadel's there too.
Yeah, the Citadel's there.
The whole galaxy united at Earth.
Everybody, the whole galaxy is stuck in the solar system. Now, the mass relays require an incredible amount of ESO in order to function. Have you tried mining in the solar system? Where the hell is all this ESO coming from?
Like, out there.
How? Where? They're stuck in the solar system. The only way to get out of the solar system is if the relay worked. And the relay only worked is if there's another relay for it to connect to. There is no other relays for it to connect to because they all blew up. So how do you make this work?
Use the Reapers.
But how do the Reapers create a mass relay? That's like saying, Chase, I am going to give you all of the information to create a portal system.
Okay.
You are stuck in your house. You have to create another portal for this portal to connect to. But you have to stay in your house. You can't use this portal unless someone has another one, but that one blew up on the other end. You are the only one who knows how to fix this.
So you're basically playing Portal with only the blue gun, and you're like...
Yeah, exactly. Like there's no way to reconnect the mass relays unless there's some sort of thing that they didn't say, that like a team like the Andromeda team who created a system to go far distances without using the mass relays, like what Blue is telling us in the chat. You need the Andromeda team. You need the Andromeda people with those ships who can go to these different areas and actually help reconnect mass relays.
I think
that's the only way that this works.
We just need to ask Drew Carpathian and then be like, yo, how are we going to do this?
But he quit.
I know. Just know he needs to be an advisor. Be like, how are we going to use these mass relays?
Yeah. Actually, they said. I thought he said, keep in mind, Andromeda Settlers left before Mass Effect 3 started. Takes place between 2 and 3. I was under the impression that they left around the time that 2 started. Am I wrong?
I'd have to.
Yeah, I think there's something to research, but I thought that they left before 2 started because only Ryder knows about the Reapers. He's the only one other than the benefactor who talked to him and told him that was coming. Because he is the only person that knows about the Reapers, so that means they could not have been there and they could not have been around, really.
And the Reapers were really only in the Milky Way, right? So when they went into dark space...
The Reapers were wherever the Citadel is, remember?
Right, but the Reapers are... They were attacking the Milky... Like, they're only a threat in the Milky Way.
As of now, yes.
Yeah, because when they went to dark space, that was them going, like, outside of the Milky Way, like, between Milky Way and Andromeda, like that. Like, the words no.
Yeah, I think we talk way too much about Mass Effect. I think we pretty much ruined this episode. If you don't care about Mass Effect, we ruined this episode. That's actually the name of this episode. We ruined this episode.
But yeah. So yeah, what I was getting at is that I finished Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and then I had said, man, I need to get back to finishing some games, so I'm going to go between Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I'm very close to finishing, but I was almost going to finish it before Mass Effect came out, and then I just focused on Mass Effect, and so I'm going to do that and go between that, Red Dead, and Scarlet Nexus, and kind of like bounce between those, and to try to finish some games, because I just I'm getting tired of getting into these like co-op experiences, or like Destiny 2s, or I mean, I love Valheim, but like getting into shit like that to where, I mean, it's social and I love the social aspect, but I need to finish some fucking games, man. But yeah.
Okay, so since we wasted so much time on Mass Effect, do we want to talk about something else?
We've been watching we got back into our Marvel. I actually watched the second Spider-Man movie for the first time.
Really?
Yeah.
I finished Loki.
Oh yeah?
I enjoyed it. That last episode was everything. I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't watched it because I know it hasn't been out for very long.
Yeah, but I haven't watched that, and we just binge watched WandaVision, because Amber hasn't watched it, and we're going to do just in order, and then we'll get to Loki and stuff.
I was reading what Blue was writing. He went and looked and saw when the whole thing. So the Andromeda Initiative left around the conclusion of Mass Effect 2's campaign. That makes no sense. So it is between 2 and 3.
Well, I think they were saying that they left before Mass Effect 2's campaign, because I think they left because
he just looked up an article, and the article says that they
not before
they said this article from the Eurogamer article
right
said they left at the conclusion of Mass Effect 2's campaign. It says it definitively.
Does that mean at the? Because I thought it was not before Mass Effect 2, but like before the game ended, like sort of, like as a, I don't know if Shepard can pull this off. Let's go to the Andromeda just in case.
No, I don't think this. I mean, when you look at all of the stuff with Ryder, and then we talking about more fucking Mass Effect right now, but it, other than Ryder, not too many people knew about what the hell was going on with Shepard. So they left before the end of Mass Effect 2's campaign. That's right, Chase. Sorry, Scar. But like, it still doesn't matter because like it doesn't make any sense to me that they don't know anything. That none of these people know anything about the Reapers at all. And
yeah, but everybody still kind of thought it was a little bit of a myth until Mass Effect 3. Like even in 1 it was Saren, and 2 it was the Collectors, and like 3 is when it was like, yo. All the conspiracy theories are right. The Reapers are real.
Yeah, I guess. Okay. You said you were talking about what you were watching. The Marvel stuff.
Yeah, the Marvel stuff, and we've been enjoying that. And actually, I don't know if Blue. I think I heard that Blue didn't really like it too, Kuga. But when I was watching,
he said Loki was legit. I enjoyed WandaVision.
Yeah, when I was watching WandaVision, like it kind of like because of like Captain Rambo and stuff, I was like, man, I kind of want to watch Captain Marvel again. Like I really liked that movie. Like, and a lot of people like didn't. Like I thought it was.
I mean, people anti SJWs or whatever the fuck you want to call those people. They didn't like the movie because of what she said before the movie came out, when they were talking about the fans not liking the movie and stuff like that. And she says, I don't give a fuck what white men think, because it's the white men that fucking are still talking shit about fucking The Last Jedi. You know what I mean? Like, they still talk about this shit every fucking day, even though the Bad Batch is fucking dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck out of here. Like, talk about some cool shit. Talk about something you love instead of talking about what you hate. All right. So, are you finished?
Yeah.
Okay. So I didn't watch Black Widow yet. He said Black Widow was disappointing. I mean, it was always going to be disappointing. Let's be honest.
Well, I mean, it was supposed to come out like 2 years ago, so.
But it was also always going to be disappointing because we had no indication that anyone was actually going to give her a fucking funeral. Like, do you know that she's the only one that no one actually like really like did anything about? Like, you know what I mean? WandaVision is basically Wanda dealing with that grief. It's a whole TV show about dealing with that grief. Who the fuck feels grief over Nat? Like, you know what I mean? They did all of this big, huge fucking thing for Tony's funeral, and I get it. And this is spoilers. I don't give a fuck right now. But they did all of this whole thing with Tony's funeral, and nobody said, don't forget Nat sacrificed herself for this shit. No one said that during that whole fucking funeral. They talked about this shit after the fact. Wanda and fucking Hawkeye talked about this shit after the fact, not during the fucking proceedings of what was happening. Everybody is all sad and shit because of what happened with Tony, and yes, that was sad as fuck. And every time I hear Portals, I get a tear in my eye because of what the fuck is about to go down. But like, no one feels anything for Nat. And like, the fact that there was no fucking uproar about why didn't we do anything for Nat in this fucking movie? Why didn't we do anything for her in this movie? Like, yeah, y'all had the conversations about bringing her back and all of this kind of stuff, and a couple people felt grief, but like, you didn't do a fucking funeral. Even after Hulk did the snapping, he said, yo, I tried. So then you have to do a funeral, right? You have to. No one did a fucking thing. No one gives a fuck about Nat. So no one was going to give a fuck about Nat's movie. That's how I feel about it. I ain't watching this shit, you know, unless I sail the seas or whatever like that, or, you know, fire stick that shit, but I ain't about to watch that shit. I ain't going to no movie theater, so like, you know, and everyone said it was disappointing, but like, just come on, man. Like, no one gave a fuck about Nat and her sacrifice. Her sacrifice is the reason why Iron Man was able to do what the fuck he did. and no one gives a shit. No one gives a shit about her sacrifice. So no one gives a shit about Nat, right? Why do we give a shit about her movie? And even though, and going back to the TV shows, even though I like WandaVision, personally, it's third to me. Loki is now number one with a bullet. There is no question that Loki is number one of these after Endgame Marvel TV shows. Loki is number one. I cared more about Falcon and Winter Soldier than a lot of people did. I know that I'm the minority here. I'm the minority here on that one. I cared about Falcon and Winter Soldier more than I cared about WandaVision. WandaVision was just weird, and it was delightful when everything was happening. But like Loki is everything, especially that last episode. That last episode, in that one episode, Marvel does so much to set up what's going to happen in the MCU. With that one episode, they do more than DC has ever done in any of their DCEU movies. Like you know what I mean? Like they did a show for 6 episodes about different timelines and shit like that. DC couldn't even do a Wonder Woman movie set in the 80s. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck out of here. Like, I'm not gonna rag about DC. I'm not a DC fan. I watched a few of the movies, and I have access to HBO now, so I can possibly I could possibly watch the extended cut to Justice League. A lot of people said it made the movie better. I still think it's some bullshit because he had the benefit of hindsight to make that movie better. So, but yeah, that last episode of Loki is everything, and it does so much for the whole of the MCU, and it gives you so much to think about. It's crazy. It's crazy. Blue said he agrees with me about the Snyder Cut. Yeah, he had the benefit of hindsight. So of course the movie can be better because he had the benefit of knowing what didn't work. So he just changed the things that didn't work about the fucking movie. He can lie and say this is the way it was always supposed to be, but I'm never, ever going to believe that Joss Whedon was able to change that much about a movie that was greenlit by a movie studio who put millions and millions of dollars into a project just for Joss Whedon to come in and say, yeah, I'm gonna change this shit. I'm gonna change all this shit. And they'd be like, okay.
We're gonna burn all that.
Yeah, we'll do whatever you want to say, boss. And whatever you say, boss, we do whatever you say. Warner Brothers ain't gonna do that shit. Like, fuck out of here. It's fucking Warner Brothers. So I watched a few things.
All right.
I'm rewatching Orphan Black with Pooh Bear. I still love that show, and I think when Return to Oswald is finished, I think we're gonna do Orphan Black. Blue said he think Joss Whedon before that movie had tons of leverage. Don't underestimate that. Does he have tons of leverage over WB? He may have tons of leverage over the people who were working on that movie, and he has a lot of cachet with Fox and Marvel at that point. But does he have anything over WB? Because WB paid for and greenlit a movie to be made. And to say that they let that movie that they paid for and they greenlit, that they would just let him walk in and just change everything, makes no sense. Makes zero sense. Like, the director wasn't there. Everyone else who worked on this movie already was still there. You mean to tell me that they was all cool with this shit too? They was like, and he was just like, well, I want to change this thing. And they were just like, well, no one said, well, that's not how this was supposed to be. Like, this is the script that we have. Like, what, I get that you want to change this, but I don't understand why we can't keep making the movie that we were supposed to make. I'm never going to believe that. And I know how we feel about Joss Whedon at this point, but still, I'll never believe that. But anyway, Orphan Black is great. I've been watching The Bad Batch. It is a Star Wars movie about a special group of clones. So yeah, The Bad Batch is really, really good. It's enjoyable, even though the last 2 episodes of The Bad Batch don't feature a lot of The Bad Batch. It's really focused about some other stuff that ties into the universe at large. Do
you need to watch the Cartoon Network thing to enjoy The Bad Batch?
No, because I didn't.
Okay.
There are some people from like Rebels and the Clone Wars that, like, if you don't watch a YouTube video that I watch YouTube videos after the fact, like the review of that episode, so that they talk about what happened in that episode, so that like I get the extra information that I need, but I don't get spoiled on anything else. So that part. So if you didn't watch Clone Wars or you didn't watch Rebels, this is what this stuff eventually leads to. And there's stuff in the last couple of episodes that eventually lead to the video games. So yeah, that's really cool. I watched a movie. I watched The Tomorrow War.
Oh yeah?
Yes, I watched The Tomorrow War.
Isn't that the Chris Pratt joint?
Yes. Amazon Prime. That movie is greatness for the first 2/3. The last third of that fucking movie brings in so many questions with no answers. It's a lot. It's like
kind of like Revelations.
It's like
sorry.
Yeah, yes. Stop it with the Mass Effect. But there's the last third of that movie.
That was actually a Bible reference, but
the last oh yeah, that I thought you meant the Mass Effect Revelations.
Yeah.
And that what the name of the book is?
Yeah, but I haven't got. I'm on Ascension right now, about halfway done with that one. Oh yeah, I didn't say that. I finished the first book and I'm on the second book now.
Somebody needs to get banned.
Oh yeah,
you got your band hammer on.
Yeah, I do.
So, Assassin's Creed Revelations. I thought there was a Mass Effect book called Revelations, but I could be wrong. You know, all those books got weird names like that. Yeah. But The Tomorrow War was actually pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. But for the last third of that movie, please, 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 turn your critical brain off. Just enjoy the fucking movie. Just enjoy the fucking movie. Like, if you overthink this, you are going to fuck yourself out of a good time. That's all I'll say. I ain't saying nothing else about it. Just don't fuck yourself out of a good time. Just turn your... he said there is a Mass Effect Revelations book. See, I knew I wasn't wrong. So yeah, The Tomorrow War... I enjoyed it. I think as a whole, is a very enjoyable movie. There's talks that they are possibly doing a sequel. I have no idea what the sequel will actually be about. I could think of some things because there's some unanswered questions, but I could think of some things. And I think Chris Pratt was actually pretty decent. Like he wasn't quite Star-Lord. He was actually just a regular dude. But like they did kind of made him like the I mean they let him survive some shit he shouldn't have survived.
So he's less than Star-Lord but over Parks and Rec?
Of course.
Okay.
It's like Star Wars Star-Lord, not Star Wars. If Star-Lord was a regular guy put in an impossible situation, it's an impossible white man movie. Like, that's it. It's an impossible white man movie. Starring the unlikeliest of impossible white men, but an impossible white man nevertheless. But watch that movie. It's on Amazon Prime. They've been promoting the shit out of it, so I'm pretty sure that you all know. But I watched it, and I enjoyed it. It was actually pretty decent. And I think that's it for me. I think we did a good job today.
Yeah, man.
Okay, I don't know what that was. So with that, I want to thank you. Thank you to the homie Ron Block. Shout out to Blue, who's in the chat. Both of them are in the chat today. Ron Block didn't say a whole lot, but we still appreciate you, dog. You can find the show on geeksgoneround.com. And you can find the podcast anywhere the podcasts are given away for absolutely free 99. This show is sponsored by Peace to Colors Arts and Crafts. Go buy some candles, please. PTCAChandcrafted.com is the website. It's in the chat. I mean, in the notes. And if you want to tell Chase how wrong he is about absolutely everything Mass Effect, you can send us an email. ScarcastleLive@gmail. You see how I kind of slid the deets in at the end? Like I was like, we stopped doing the deets. We need to do the deets more. And then I got it all in at the end. Hoorah! So thank you for checking us out. We appreciate y'all. And he said bogus. Oh, which part? Which part? I don't know why. It's
probably the deets.
So we appreciate y'all listening. Like, I know we haven't done a show, even though I have done a show. Chase didn't actually do anything with the show, but we appreciate y'all checking us out. August is not that far away.
Actually, it's next episode, probably.
Is it?
Most likely.
Let me pull up account. Hell yeah! Next episode in 2 weeks. 2 weeks starts August. And we got some people lined up, and it's going to be fucking dope. We appreciate y'all listening. Come back in 2 weeks for August, and we'll be recording a show every Monday in August, which there is 5 of them. So we're doing 5 shows next month.
Yeah, 5. And let me do a little August too. The 16th is all booked up, but every other day we have spots open. On the 2nd we got Blue, the 9th we got Wormhole, and the 16th is Cam and Rojas. The 23rd, nobody is on the 23rd. We need to get up on that. So anybody that wants to...
Did anybody reach out to Elaine? Blue, like normal?
I did. She said that she'll get back to me, and she hasn't. Yeah, I'll reach out to her again. She might have got busy, but on the 30th is Ron Block. So.
Word up. So yeah, slots are still open. You let us know. You can send us a message or just say something in the Discord, and we'll go ahead and get you up in there. And I think we're good for now. So thank you again, and we'll be back in your ear holes in 2 weeks for August. Eastern Warriors, yo.
Later.
I like that shit, yeah, boy. Look, I'm telling you, Whoa. All right, I ain't gonna talk.